It's a Friday. I'm just checking to see the lights on. And I'm going to talk about something a little bit behind the scenes here that some of you might not find interesting, but I think some people will find this interesting. But as a person who makes videos on YouTube, I am a YouTube creator. I create stuff that goes onto YouTube. I shoot videos, okay? And so as a person who makes videos and posts them on YouTube, obviously there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that you don't see as somebody who simply watches videos on YouTube. Now, I know there's some YouTube creators in my audience, but I'm talking about just the general people who watch my videos and probably go watch some other videos. And so as a person who posts videos on YouTube, I do pay attention to which videos do well and which ones do not do well. And in fact, I've mentioned before that one of the reasons I created this channel is videos of mine that perform poorly, I would occasionally remove. And every now and then I get a note from somebody, hey, Steve, you did a video 5 years ago about such and such, a real wacky little topic. I can't find it anymore. And I'd say, well, I took it down because it wasn't doing very well. Okay, I'd like to watch it again, though. So I created the second channel, started posting videos here that were off my old channel, original channel, and have been brought over here. And then, of course, people complain because they're, hey, why are you posting all these old videos? So I cut back on that. But the point simply is this. I do pay attention to which videos do well, which videos do not do well. And I got a pretty good feeling for this. And so I've been doing this now for 10 years, but very seriously for about 5. About 5 or 6 years, I've been seriously putting some thought and effort into putting up videos on YouTube. And so I can tell, generally speaking, when I get a good topic and I get a good video and it's going to do well. And here's the thing. I had a discussion about this with my good friend, Mark, yesterday. And his name's not Mark yesterday. It was a discussion, Mark, yesterday. See Lawyer Dog for explanation. However, there is something happening in the YouTube community of creators that you might not be aware of unless you are a creator yourself. And that is that something happened on YouTube, and we're not quite sure what it was, about 5-6 months ago, where a lot of the numbers started falling off. And it was kind of weird because most of us, when it first happened, thought, oh, wow, I'm doing something wrong. My numbers are dropping. And then people started comparing notes. Oh, your numbers are dropping too. When did that start happening? Oh, it all started happening at the same time. And so you'll hear people talk about YouTube's got an algorithm, and the algorithm is what controls which videos get pushed to which people. And so if YouTube decided tomorrow to show my new video potentially to every single subscriber on earth, I would get a lot of views. But of course, there's a lot of people competing, and of course, YouTube chooses, picks, and how they do that, that's the algorithm. No one knows the algorithm except for YouTube. So something obviously happened. They changed something, and a lot of people's views are dropping. That is the numbers that you see, and as a creator, I have access to this really cool dashboard, and it shows how many views I get per hour, where the views come from, the demographics of the views, all kinds of neat information, graphs and charts, and a lot of real geeky stuff, but it's fun. And so you can go back and look and see the numbers were steadily up here, and all of a sudden, boom, they're steadily down here. And so, of course, as a creator, I'm very sensitive to this because I'm looking at it going, I like my videos to do well. Why are they suddenly doing poorly? And so one of the things that happens, the reason I'm talking about this today is I put up a video a couple days ago about the Coast Guard officer who was arrested because the car he had just bought was wrongly reported stolen. And I got some notes going, hey, didn't you already do this topic? And I did, and I forgot to mention that. I did go post a note later, and I pinned it to make sure people saw it. And I apologize for that. But what had happened was I put that video up a couple weeks ago, the original video, and there's 2 videos, by the way. I did not re-upload the old video. I reshot the video for 2 reasons. One of which is the first video did poorly. It bombed. It was just, DOA. I mean, and I know what numbers my videos can get, and I know what they average. I know all kinds of stuff. And the first video did so horribly that it was bad. Yet, it was such a good topic. And I don't know whether it was the algorithm or something else. Maybe there's some other hot stuff that got posted that morning I was competing against. I don't know. All I know is I knew that video could do well. I knew the topic could do well. And I have no idea why that one performed so poorly. And so I was looking at it going, why? I just don't get it. And then somebody sent me a note and said, hey, Steve, here's an article, Coast Guard officer, stolen car, blah, 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 blah. And the new article contained some new information that I thought, well, that's interesting. So I reshot the video, the topic, with the new information in it, and I posted it, and boom, it took off. It did what I expected it to do. And so I was extremely happy about that. But of course, I did get some people going, I think you've done this story before. Well, number one, the old video is gone, so that's that. But number two, this was a brand new video. I would never take an old video and re-upload it. So I had several people go, is this a re-upload or an update? So technically, I guess it was an update. But the real point here is that you may have heard, because I've talked to people now who say, I've heard people talking about that. And in fact, when I went and visited Ed Bolian, when I shot some VinWiki videos, we were talking about YouTube and the algorithm and so on. But I know other creators who've talked about this as well. And it's something that is across the entire community. And again, I'm not complaining because YouTube can do whatever they want. I'm just happy they let me post videos. But when I look at a video like the original first video I did about the Coast Guard officer getting arrested wrongly, I was looking at that going, how can that video not do well? How can it not do well? And there's a few other things that go into videos as to whether they perform well or not. And I'm not going to sit here and get heavily into it because most of you don't care. But one of the things that is absolutely true is that the videos that do well earlier than the videos that don't do well. Meaning that it's so important how a video starts. And I don't know how to define it. All I know is that if a video's got a really strong start, almost every video out there has the exact same graph if you look at the shape of the curve. It has a lot of views and it starts tailing off. And occasionally something will cause it to bump if it gets reposted someplace. But for the most part, you have a high number in the first hour, and then it just tails off like this, and you have a long tail. And so you put up another video tomorrow, it does the same thing. And then, of course, these things all stack up and add up. And some people do go back and watch old videos. And like I said, occasionally you get a bump. I remember I did a video years ago about the guy who built a steam-powered Chevelle. And it was a real simple video. I walked around the car. I did a voiceover. I posted it. Normally, my voiceover videos don't do well. That did okay. And then about a few months later, it went nuts again. And it did that a couple times. And it was largely because I think people were posting it on bulletin boards and saying, hey, I just saw this really cool video on YouTube about this steam-powered Chevelle. And they would post it like on a Chevelle bulletin board or a Chevrolet bulletin board or a steam-powered car bulletin board. I don't know. All I know is I'd suddenly get a spike of views. But for the most part, the general diagram is up here and it just tails off like this. So if you get a low start, a low launch number, I guess would be the best word for it, a launch number that's low, it's going to just fizzle. And it happens. It happens. So again, it doesn't happen very often where I actually take down a video and reshoot it, except I will tell you that pretty much every single video I shot in the first year of video shoots of mine, almost every one, I removed and reshot because I thought the topics were good, but nobody saw them. And so I put up videos, I believe the first year was 2014, I think. It had to be 2014 because I did my 10-year anniversary last year. And so in 2014, I put up a bunch of videos. And they helped build the channel up. But when I went back and looked at them 8 years later, 7 years later, some of them only had like 1,000 views, 2,000 views. And what are the odds that when I've got 50,000 subscribers or 40,000 subscribers that, 50,000 subscribers, obviously 49,000 of them couldn't have seen that video, So I literally took them down, looked at the topic, and then reshot them. Many of them were evergreen topics. What is the Lemon Law? What is the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act? What do you need to do when you get your oil changed and they screw up your oil change? Things like that. So I did redo a bunch of old videos. And so, again, I apologize for those who are feeling they got schnookered because I redid a video so soon after. Like I said, it did contain new facts. It did contain new facts, and I should have acknowledged that. But the other problem is, and I put this in the pinned comment, is that the way my schedule worked out, I had to shoot like 5 videos one day, and it was amongst those 5. So I do the videos in a row on the camera, boom, 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 and then I take the card out and go over to the editing area. And I edit the videos, and I can't go boom, 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 because it takes much longer. I edit the videos, and then I upload them, and by the time I'm done with this, my My mind is fried. So it was in the midst of all that this happened. But that's the explanation. But again, if you have any favorite YouTubers that you've been watching, you've been following for a length of time, you can go to the list of all their videos on YouTube, and that'll be someplace on their main page. Click on videos, look at the videos, and look at the numbers on their recent videos, and then zoom down about 6 or 8 months, and you'll see that the numbers used to be much, much higher. And no one knows. And it very well could be something as simple as YouTube decided that to give you credit for having a view, you have to have this much of the video watched as opposed to this much. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. Or I've heard all kinds of other theories. There's entire Reddit boards dedicated to this, which I've spent far too long walking around looking at going. And then, of course, you get off on some other topic. Next thing you know, you're looking at some crazy conspiracy theories. But the point is that it's happening to a lot of people. I'm not complaining. I'm simply pointing this out. So there you go. But yeah, if you saw the video the first time, you're amongst a small group of people because not that many people saw it. And I have had people before say, hey, Steve, you've already done this video. And I'm certain I haven't. And I go back and look and I haven't. And I say, I have not done this video before. And they say, oh, I'm sorry, I confused you with this guy, that guy, or somebody else because other people had done the video. And so I know that I have the same problem. I watch a lot of videos, the police chase videos I told you about, the arrest videos. And I'll encounter a video that I'm certain I've seen that arrest before, but I saw it on somebody else's channel. That happens also. And there are a bunch of people now like me who are attorneys who are doing videos about things in the news and legal aspects thereof. So that's always a possibility, but again, a rare update, but not a re-upload, because I would never take a video off the channel and put it right back on again. Unless there was one occasion I can think of, maybe two, where I misscheduled a video. That is, the video is set to go. It should have gone at 10 o'clock in the morning on a particular day, and it accidentally went live at 8 a.m. because I hit the wrong thing on the pull-down tab. And if that happened, I would kill it and reschedule it and redo it. But I've caught those with just a handful of people who'd seen it. And I actually remember getting a very, very angry note from somebody once who said, hey, Steve, I was watching a video and it stopped. And I said, yeah, it wasn't supposed to post, and I pulled it down, but I'm gonna, it'll go live at 10 o'clock. And I had a guy go, I'm not going to watch it then. And I'm like, sorry. I guess I'll have to fire my production crew. But you know how that goes. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.